How's it going, guys? It's Jerry. Just wanted to bring to you guys a quick, clear, concise guide and demonstration of the fast fire for Peacekeeper technique, or double pump if you're coming from the Fortnite scene. Although in theory it is not a double pump, you only need a single shotgun to do it. But to get started, what you're going to need is a Peacekeeper, obviously. You're going to need a second weapon, and you're going to need spare ammo. What this means is if you pick up a Peacekeeper off the ground and don't pick up any ammo for it, you can't do it because you need to be able to swap weapons. Or you need to be able to reload, excuse me. And if you do not have a secondary, you won't be able to do it because you need to be able to swap weapons. So disclaimer, I did not discover this. I've seen a couple different streamers and some YouTubers doing this in game before, and they have kind of explained it, but I figured I'd give a slightly more in detail guide because I figured out a couple things about the timing that make it easier to track and do consistently. But anyway, the premise is you're going to shoot or fire the Peacekeeper, reload, cancel the reload by swapping to your secondary, and then swap back very quickly. The swap is going to be as fast as this. You're not going to even see your secondary come out. If you played Call of Duty back in the day and you did trick shotting, you might know this is YYing or whatever else, but you're going to do that. The trick is you need to time all of it correctly, or else you're going to screw it up. And instead of shooting your second shot like normally or quickly, you're just going to reload. And that's obviously a risk you take when doing this technique, because if you fail at it, you're going to be reloading while your enemy's shooting you. Anyway, so this is what it's going to look like. So this is normal firing. 3 shots, normal firing, and this will be quick. So it is noticeably quicker. At the end of the video, I will have a couple clips showing the timing difference so you can see just how much faster it is. But anyway, what you're going to do is when you fire, you're going to press reload at the same exact time that you fire. So it's going to look like this. If you do not swap after, it's going to look like exactly like this. And it's going to feel like you're pressing your left mouse button and your R button at the same time. At that point, pretty much everybody, unless you have weird key bindings, that should be the same. You're pressing left mouse button and R at the same time. Something to note, you can't be strafing right and press R unless you do some magic with your fingers. So you need to bear that in mind in your fight. If you're strafing, you need to shoot when you're strafing left so that your pointer finger is available for R. Another thing to take into consideration is the fact that 1 and 2 are the default weapon swap. I have them bound specifically to mouse up and mouse down, when they're by default mouse wheel just switches. So I would suggest if you don't have mouse wheel bound to jump or something else for bunny hopping, that you bind like your primary to mouse up and your secondary to mouse down, because it's really easy to just flick to your primary to your secondary that way. And it also helps here because your left pointer finger can be doing weapon swapping while it's not shooting. So anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to press left mouse click and R at the same time to fire and reload, and then you're going to wait a couple milliseconds. If you do it right away, this is what it's going to look like. But you need to give the reload animation just a little bit of time, not too much, to perform the weapon swap and fire again, or else you're going to do a full reload. So you can do it pretty quick, as you saw earlier, but this is what's going to look like. Just note the slight delay between weapon swapping. And remember that I'm pressing R at the same time that I'm shooting. So if you need a way to visualize me pressing R, just think about me pressing it as I'm shooting. Anyway, this is what, again, it's going to look like. And it may sound tricky to move around and do this at the same time, but with a little bit of practice, it's not that hard. But just bear in mind the risk of failing, and then instead of just pulling off a second normal shot, you end up just reloading and having to wait till your reload finished before you can shoot again. Anyway, that concludes everything for now. I just wanted to show you guys how to do that really quick. Don't rely on this too heavily because it may be patched. I know the way people are doing it in Fortnite was patched. Obviously, different developers, different publishers, you never know what their preferences are going to be. As far as my personal opinion is, I'm kind of on the fence. It seems like a bit of an advantage, but then again, I learned how to do it in a matter of 30-45 minutes. It's not that difficult, and I don't really use shotguns in the game anyway, so it's not necessarily a huge deal to me. But If you want to leave your opinions in the comments and have a discussion about it, that's cool. If you have any questions or if I left anything out, please ask me, let me know. And without further ado, take it easy, guys. Have a good day.